Okay, so we've learned how to move things left and right. We've learned how to move things up and down. Now oh wait, sorry, we learned, yes, left, right, up, down. We learned how to rotate them. Now we're gonna learn how to flip them. So here with this, we have these points here. I'm just gonna look at my A prime, D prime, and all that, and see if we can figure out what happens here for this rule. So A prime, that was a 0.43, it's out for -3. D was at 1.5, D prime is at 1, -5. Okay, M is at -1, but so yep, that is -1, -5, and -1, 4. Now change to -1, -4. So what do we notice happening here when we flip over the x-axis? What keeps happening here to our points? All my y's become negative or change their sign. So my rule is x, -y. So we just change the sign on y. So if we're flipping over the x-axis, y becomes effective. Make sense? So flipping over the x-axis, we change the y value. So if we're going to flip over the y-axis, what do you think we're going to change? The x value, yes. So let's take a look at this example here. So here we're trying to flip this over the x-axis. This one's going to look fairly interesting because it already crosses over the x-axis. It's going to be on top of itself some. So all I have to do is change the sign on y. So if something's positive, it's negative. If something's negative, it's at positive. So that will be 4, -3, 5, -3. 0 does not get a negative sign, so that's just still 5, 0. And 2, now -2 turns to a +2. So now that I flip these signs, I get my new points. Let's see, I got here, 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 and 2, 2 here. So as you see, that flips over the x-axis. So we're flipping over this line right here. So if I were to fold it, we would see it fall on top of itself. Oh, that's how I want to hit. Sorry about that. Calibration's a little bit off. There we go. Any questions on reflecting over the x-axis? Any questions on reflecting over here? Yeah. Let me quickly recalibrate the board. Sorry about that. Definitely for those of you watching the video. We'll go over reflecting over the y-axis now. So the y-axis, now I'm flipping over this line, again, if I were to fold along that, we would see they overlap. So I'm going to start with H prime. H prime, that point is at -4, -3. Then I have A prime. That's at -2, -4. B prime is at -1, +1. And then U prime is up here at -2, 2. So what are we doing with flipping over the y-axis? What's changing this time? Change the sign on all my x's, make all my x's negative. So it would be the rule -x, y. There we go. Yeah, just change. The sign. Well, we're flipping over the y-axis, so we're changing the sign on x. So when we flip over the y-axis, change the sign on x. When we flip over the x-axis, change the sign on y. So let's take a look at this one in motion. So again, all I have to do, my x's, if they're positive, they turn negative. If they're negative, they turn positive. So that's -x, y. So it will become -4, 3. -2, -2. You're right the first time. Nope.
I know what I'm talking about. I listened Friday and.
If you want to call it -2, it's the same thing. Yes, yes. So now if I plot these, I'll see this flipped over to the other side.
Oh, Tyler. I thought this boy Tyler. Oh.
So there we go. That's what this will look like reflected over the y-axis. So again, if you look back at our notes, you'll notice that example 2 for each reflection and rotation we do is all dealing with this image. So you can see, if you look through the notes, the differences between each on the same pre-image. Any questions on reflecting over the y-axis? Okay, the last thing we need to reflect over is the line y equals x. So the line y equals x, let me get that graphed here so we see what we're flipping over.
All I know is she said that Tyler was being messy. Oh, because I think Tyler.
So I'm trying to flip over this line right here. So when I flip over the line y equals x, I'm flipping over this line. So let's start with D was -4, 4. D prime is now at 4, -4. H was at negative.
Is that part of the?
That's fine.
But
Him.
So it should like have Tyler be messy.
There's a typo here with point H and point U. Oh, wait, sorry, no typo. I was looking at the wrong one. Sorry, H is at -2, 3. H prime is at 3, -2. U prime is at 3, -3, -1, U's at -1, -3. And then Z was at -4, 0. Z prime is at 0, comma, -4. So what appears to be happening with my X and Y values here? They just switch. So the line Y equals X, all that's saying is flip X and Y around. I don't have to do anything with the signs, just flip X and Y. So it now becomes Y, comma, X. So it's just flip X and Y. So let's look at it again in action here. So again, I'm going to draw for this one the line that we're flipping over, just because it's not as easy to see as the axis. So I'm going corner to corner here. So again, I'm just going to flip all my X and Y's around. So this says 4, 3, which should the new point be? 3, comma, 4, good. Next one. 3, comma, 5, good. Next one. 0, comma, 5, and the last one. -2, comma, 2. So when we plot these points, you should see this flipped over here. The closer it is to the line, we should see it close here. The further away it is, the further away we should see it over here. So 3, 4, nope, that's 2, 4, sorry. 3, 4 would be over here. 3, 5, 0, 5, and -2, 2. And that's it. That's reflecting over these various lines. So we still do have a half hour to try and get the work done. Hopefully you can get close to it being done in that half hour. If you do have questions, please let me know.